Bias attacks against Asian Americans increased during the pandemic, but there's legislation now sitting on Governor Murphy's desk that supporters believe would help stop bias attacks from occurring through education. The bill requires that New Jersey schools teach students about Asian American and Pacific Islander history. As Melissa Rose Cooper reports, that's welcome news for kids who have felt the sting of prejudice.
For me growing up, I didn't see a lot of representation in the classroom, and it ended up with a lot of like self-internalized racism and I guess self-loathing and like identity crisis because I always wanted to be like my classmates who were white.
Christina Wong is first-generation American. Both her parents are from China, but even though Christina was born and raised in New Jersey, the high school senior says she has experienced multiple racial incidents because of her Chinese culture. That's only gotten worse since the pandemic.
And I won't be able to like erase the memory of this utter look of like disgust and like repugnance on this one man's face as he like, pulled off his mask and like started just coughing on me. It left me very like violated and confused because first of all we didn't talk about it, and like now looking back it hurt even more because there were people around just staring and watching as this grown man was basically harassing me and not doing anything.
State lawmakers are hoping new legislation will help stop future bias attacks like this from happening. The legislature recently passed a bill that would require schools to teach Asian American and Pacific Islander history to students in grades K through 12. The bill, if signed, would make New Jersey only the second state in the country to require these lessons, along with Illinois.
Stop Asian Hate received 10,400 reports of hate against Asian Americans between March 2020, September 2021. That's just the incidents that were reported. 1 in 3 parents of Asian American students reported an incident of hate or bullying committed against their kids. So I think education always is the best tool to combat ignorance, to combat biases.
7th grader Brian Zhao still remembers the first time he experienced a racial bias incident because of his Asian culture.
On the bus when I was 7, people used these deny expressions and started saying Chinese eyes and Japanese eyes. And as a 7-year-old, I didn't understand what those words meant because there were all these older kids saying them. And I was kind of immature and gullible then. And now that I'm older and more mature, I know what they meant, and it hurts looking back. When I was 10 at the start of the pandemic, I was in the backyard playing on the trampoline, and a man spat at me. And I knew fully what that meant at that point, and that really hurt. And the fact that I didn't say something back is kind of like a, why didn't I do that at the time moment?
But now he's speaking up and also advocating for kids to learn about Asian American history.
Because everybody else's history is being taught except for us. And so with the addition of this bill, I think it'll promote inclusiveness.
I'm a psychiatrist, so I see the lifelong consequences of this trauma. I see how it impacts, their ability to sleep, their ability to feel alive even. We want our kids to get to experience their childhood. We don't want their childhood to be robbed of them.
The bill now needs to be signed by Governor Murphy. If it becomes law, local boards of education will choose the materials and curriculum with guidance from a new commission on Asian heritage at the State Department of Education. For NJ Spotlight News, I'm Melissa Rose Cooper.
That does it for us tonight, but head over